set up the sound booth at St. John's. What we're going to start with is removing the cover to the soundboard. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to kind of wrap it up. Just do it kind of nicely. And you can either set it up here or you can set it back here. Just make sure it's up off the floor and out of the way. The next thing you want to do is open up the amp rack, and then on the top it says push for on sequence. You just push that and it will turn everything on in sequence. So you just kind of give it a minute and it'll turn everything on. And that takes a couple seconds, so you just have to wait for them all. Okay, so now that the board is on, we come over to the board, and what you want to do is hit the system bypass button, and then you want to type 0, 1 and hit do it. And basically what that does is it mutes everything on the board except for the 6 submixes. And the 6 submixes are controlled by these buttons here. But everything should be set there. You should never have to push any of these buttons, so just leave those buttons alone. The mics are color coordinated on the bottom. These 4 here are for the wireless mics, which we'll get out later, and then these 2 are for the wireless headset mics for the pastor and the assistant. You have your sanctuary piano, your lectern, and the choir mics over here, and then you also have the loft piano and the computer if you need be, and that will be explained if you have to use the computer. On this side of the board we have the praise band, and these are, keyboard, bass, guitar, and then all of these mics should coordinate with mics from the praise band so that you can look and see who needs to be turned up and who needs to be turned down. These are the mains, the central mains here. These should never move. These should stay where they are at all times. If you need to turn someone up, do it on their channel. Do not do it on the mains. Just leave that there. So what we've done is we've taken all of the praise band and we've put all of their mics and all of their instruments, and we've put them all on 5 and 6, these 2 channels right here. So all you have to do is mute and then unmute them if you need them, and then at the beginning of the service you just unmute who you need. If you need the keyboard, guitar, bass, you got 3 people singing, you just unmute them and bring them up, and then you can adjust them if you need be. And then when they're not singing, all you have to do is mute this, and that will mute all the signal coming from over there. And then when they're getting ready to sing again, you just unmute them and they will be ready to go. That should be all you should have to do for the praise band, as long as we leave these buttons alone. Like I said, they shouldn't need to be touched. And then, like I said, only unmute what you need to have unmuted at the time. And then for pastor and the assistant, bring them up and you can unmute them. You'll get them set, and you really shouldn't have to move them other than a little bit here or there. Pastor does talk louder during his sermon. And then if pastor's the only one talking, like say during the sermon, just have him unmuted and you can mute the other microphone, just so that you're not getting any other signal there, or vice versa. Especially during instances like communion or the offering or anything like that. That's a good thing to do there. And then say children's time comes up, you bring that one up and then just unmute it. And then when children's time is done, just mute it so that you don't have any weird pops or anything that come out through there. Same thing goes for the lectern. And the lectern, depending on who's using the lectern, you're going to have to be very careful. If it's a short lady, you might not be able to turn it up quite too loud. The lectern, if you are getting feedback, this is the only time I tell you to touch these buttons. If you are getting feedback, turn down the left, right, the LR on this button right here. Just hit that and that will help with some of that, and just leave the center one on, because the center one will not feedback as much as the left, right one. But that's the only time you should hit any of these buttons. The rest of the time those buttons should stay the same.